Welcome back, everyone. The KKK has resurfaced in the town of Harrison, Arkansas with this billboard. The group that put it up says it's just an ad for a web-based radio station. But some say the billboard and other messages turning up around the county, or around the country, I should say, are part of a KKK recruitment campaign. CNN's Ed Lavendera takes a look.
A few weeks ago, in some small towns near Indianapolis, residents woke up to find these flyers delivered like newspapers on their front lawns. The Ku Klux Klan pushing its comeback. In the quiet neighborhoods of Rutherford, New Jersey, the Klan passed out flyers telling white America to wake up and urging people to join the white supremacist movement. And in Harrison, Arkansas, the Klan put up this billboard celebrating White Pride Radio.
The message is that white people have a right to be proud of who they are. Everybody else has a right to be proud, and I don't deny that.
The KKK is firing up recruiting efforts across the country. Hate group watchdogs say it's a coordinated effort among various Klan organizations, driven by anger over racial and political issues. We are in Northeast Texas. A recruiter with the Ku Klux Klan in these parts has agreed to meet with us. He said to meet him here and that he would take us to a wooded, secluded area where he'd feel more comfortable talking as long as we didn't show his face.
People are fed up. They're tired.
This is Henry, and he asked us to also alter his voice. He's a recruiter with the Texas Knights.
Is there a concerted effort to recruit new members into the Klan right now? Yes, sir. And in the last few months, how many new members have you recruited? My personal recruitment stance, I have recruited over 40. Over 40? Yes. In the last month? In the last month? Yes, sir. That if you feel that pride and you feel strongly about this, why does the Klan still use the robes and the headdress? Because our government considers us domestic terrorists. They consider us right-wing extremists.
Henry says he joined the Texas Knights 4 years ago after meeting people at right-wing political rallies.
You think your culture is better than the others? Absolutely. Absolutely. No question? No question. So you think blacks, Hispanics, Asians are lesser people? Yes, I do.
Brian Levin is the director of the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism. He says despite the Klan's efforts to recruit new members, the group is a disappearing relic.
The Klan is not a player anymore. They are masters of smoke and mirrors, of trying to appear important, of trying to appear active and appear bigger when in fact they're not.
Levin says in its heyday of the 1920s, the Ku Klux Klan was deeply ingrained in American society with nearly 5 million members, including elected officials. Today, Levin says the Klan has about 5,000 members.
All they can do now is be an irritant to America rather than a true threat. What they can do is they can exploit existing racial and ethnic tensions. They can exploit the distrust that Americans have in institutions like government and the media. But they, as a solitary entity, cannot gain traction with getting members.
A lot of people say that the Klan is basically a shadow of its former self. That's what we want them to think. That's what you want them to think? Yes. Absolutely. You think they're wrong, though? I don't think so. That's how we feel. You think that's how we want the public to see us, as a shadow, not to know where we are. That's how it should be.
But in the dark corners of Texas and many other parts of the country, the Ku Klux Klan legacy of hate lives on. Ed Lavendera, CNN, near Texarkana, Texas.
So joining me now, Jeff Crockett. He is the former mayor of Harrison, Arkansas, where the billboard we showed you earlier is. Mayor, you're not pleased with this billboard. You were the mayor when it was put up. Did you try to stop it?
No, I did not. It's a freedom of speech issue. You know, they're totally entitled to represent their views any way they want. We might not like it. We don't have to agree with it. We're entitled to represent our views the way we want, and that's what we're trying to do.
The community is predominantly white. Are people outraged? Are they supportive?
Yes. Of the billboard? No, I don't believe they're supportive at all. I think they would like to see it go on. It causes us loss of tourism. It causes us some loss of employment here in town. We have had some corporate prospects come through town that have wondered about the past billboard, and I'm sure they will about this one, and have reserved locating here because of it. We've had people trying to transfer into town with different companies here that have decided to not move to Harrison, Arkansas, to move to Branson, Missouri instead, just because they didn't want to raise their kids around what they're afraid might be here.
The one we just showed was one that said anti-racist is code for anti-white. That was one that was earlier. But before I get to that, I want to ask you this. You said they're not supportive of the billboard. Are they supportive of the billboard's message, though?
I don't believe so, not at all. Our majority of our community is totally acceptive. They want to grow, they want to be welcoming to all people, and I don't think they're acceptive of the billboard message at all.
Yeah. So again, the billboard, again, that's the second one that popped up. The sort of yellow-looking one or fluorescent-looking one is the one that popped up earlier. Yes. It was posted in the area last year.
Yes.
You protested
yes.
this billboard, and why are these messages popping up now, you think?
I don't know why they're popping up. You know, I'm sure that Tom Robb will tell you what their position is. I imagine they're trying to recruit members. They're trying to promote their business. You know, they have a radio station. They have a web presence. They sell a lot of Klan memorabilia. You know, it's a business model for them. They've got families to support and a business to grow.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Jeff Crockett, the former mayor of Harrison, Arkansas. We appreciate it. Now I want to bring in Thomas Robb, National Director for the Knights of the KKK. His group is responsible for the billboard. He says there's nothing offensive about it, that it's simply an advertisement for his web-based radio station. So I appreciate you joining me as well. Your organization sponsored this billboard. And right now there is so much national attention on race given the protests all across the country. I want to get right to the point here. How is this billboard not racist?
If anybody sees racism in that billboard, then they themselves are racist. The billboard just asks white people to do the same thing that every other racial, ethnic people in this country is allowed and encouraged to do. Nobody would be offended if a black put on a billboard, or if they love their heritage or love their culture or love their people, and they're encouraged to do so. But when a white person simply says to love your people, that is considered racism? Come on, now those people who find racism there are really exposing their own racism.
So why do you feel the need to put
what they really are is anti-white.
Why do you feel the need to put that billboard up? I haven't seen any, you know, it's I heart black people, I heart Hispanic people. Why do you feel the need?
Because white people have a right to love their heritage, love their culture, and love their people. And white people are tired of hearing of other races who are encouraged to do that. And yet, again, when a white person says, I love my people, then some people call that racism.
Mm-hmm. I assume that you're aware of history.
And they're really exposing their own racism.
So people remember the bygone days of lynching, of men hiding behind white robes. Do you understand why so many people associate the KKK with being a bigoted organization?
Yeah, well, I don't care. I really don't care about what happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years. I'm concerned about white people today, and I'm concerned about the genocide against white people.
Are you willing to distance yourself from the KKK's previous activities?
I will distance myself from any type of hate, absolutely. I don't believe in hate. I think black people should love their heritage. I think people that are Asian should love their people. I think people that are Mexican should love their culture and their people. I have no problem with that. My problem is the hypocrisy that encourages other races to love their people, but wants to demonize and throw mud at a white person who simply says, love your people.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. But you also condone.
Good. I'm glad you do, because many people do.
No, I understand what you're saying in that statement right there, if that was that alone. But you're also saying that people should be segregated, that it should be all white communities, that the country needs to be taken back by its founders. There are other things that go along with that message that you're saying that you're leaving out there.
Well, if you're reading something else to that message, that's your problem. Our message is to white people, to love your people, love your heritage, love your culture, do the same thing that every other race is encouraged to do.
Okay, so this is the reason I'm saying this. When you go to your website, it's listed on the billboard. It redirects you to the kkkradio.com, okay, the internet radio station you and your family are affiliated with.
Correct.
Here's what it says about the page. It says, a lot of people recognize that there is an ongoing program of genocide against white people. There are websites, newsletters, videos, and radio shows, but too many talk about family without including the family. It has always been our mission to not just promote the white family, but to make them a part of this cause of a white Christian revival. So do you believe there is a war on the white race? That's what it sounds like.
Yes. Yes. I think it's self-evident what has happened in this country past 50 years. Yes, I believe it's self-evident.
Okay.
I think it's self-evident that when people pick a sign like this billboard and call it racism, it shows their racism against white people who want to do nothing more but love their people.
Do you believe that diversity and inclusion are good things? Having a community of people of all colors and religions and backgrounds?
Oh, I'm a strong believer in diversity. I believe that black people should have love their people, encouraged to love their culture. I have no problem with black people, Asians. I have no problem with any of those people loving who they are. My issue is with the hypocrisy that wants to demonize a white person who wants to have joy and pride in his own racial identity.
Thomas Robb, thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
So just how large is the KKK in America in 2015, and who's the Klan targeting for recruitment? Up next, some surprising answers. So how strong is the Ku Klux Klan today, and how dangerous are they? Joining me now is Mark Poduck, Senior Fellow at the Southern Poverty Law Center, and Daryl Davis, author of Clandestine Relationships, A Black Man's Odyssey in the Ku Klux Klan. All right. So, Mark, with Michael Brown and the Eric Garner cases dominating the headlines, it seems as if the racial divide in the country is worse than ever. You would think that. Do you think that this is true, or do you see an increase in the Ku Klux Klan activities?
Well, I think it's true that race relations are not doing well right now. I absolutely do not think it's true that the Klan is growing. The Klan is weak, it's poorly led, it's led by men like Tom Robb, who really can't even explain what it is they're looking for, and it's smaller all the time. We've had an awful lot of press about the Klan in the last year, but that has been something that the Klan has been essentially promoting. They do a little flyering and they get a story in the newspapers.
But they are using the current events that are happening in the news as recruitment efforts.
Well, yes, they are. That is certainly true, but it's mostly bogus. For instance, a particular Klan group said that it was going to go to Ferguson and guard white businesses. It claimed to be there with shotguns and so on, defending people in Ferguson, and that's simply not true. The group never showed up. It was simply them trying to make hay while the sun shines. Mm-hmm. So the same is true of the unaccompanied migrant children at the border crisis that happened late last year. A Klansman said that what we should do is go down to the border and leave a few corpses. That would solve the immigration problem.
So who are they targeting,
of course,
though?
Nothing at all came of that other than a lot of headlines.
Who are they targeting with their recruiting efforts?
Well, they're making an effort simply to bring in anyone they can. For many of these Klan leaders, new members mean dues, and there are a number of Klan leaders, like Tom Robb, who live off the dues that members pay them and the various things, the trinkets they sell and so on, as Mayor Crockett referenced a little earlier.
Are veterans part of this?
It's also true. I'm sorry?
Are returning veterans part of the people they're targeting?
Yeah. Veterans are a target of interest not only for the Klan, but for groups on the extreme right in general. What these groups say is these are the men and women who will have the skills to fight the race war that is coming any day. So they always, for many, many years, have been looking at people returning from theaters like Afghanistan and Iraq. But I don't think there's really much evidence that they're having any particular success in recent years.
So you think they'll have the skills, but do they find them particularly vulnerable in any way?
Well, to the extent that many veterans coming back from those war theaters have been damaged or suffering from PTSD, feel alienated from the society and so on. Yes, they're a little more vulnerable, or some of them are a little more vulnerable than perhaps the larger society.
Okay.
But I do not think it's true that they are recruiting large numbers of military veterans. I just don't think that's happening.
Okay, I want to get Daryl in now. You know, where Mark studies and analyzes the radical right, you are seeking friendships with KKK members. Why are you doing that?
Well, not necessarily seeking friendships with them, but that has evolved through our communications. What I do is I get together with a lot of these people and I question them. How can you hate me when you don't even know me? Sometimes we'll sit down and have lunch. I sat down and had lunch with Tom Robb in Harrison, Arkansas a few months back. I've sat down with Frank Ancona of the Traditionalist American Knights. I don't hate those people. Some of them I don't believe hate me, but I don't support their ideology. Sometimes over time, some of these people end up changing their beliefs. It's not my effort to get out there and try to convert them. What I'm doing is I'm putting a human face on people who do not look like them.
How do they react to you when they see you?
Well, initially, a lot of them did not know I was black before they met me, so you know, they were a bit surprised. But now they all know that I'm black, and when I call or whatever, they choose to meet me or not meet me. Some of them are very curious about me as I am about them. Yeah. But over time, you know, you find that you have more in common with someone than you do in contrast. And what I seek to do is just put a human face on humanity and let them make up their own minds. And I've been pretty successful in some instances.
Yeah. You know, when I walked into the studio tonight, the guys in the studio had the same question. Did Tom Robb know I was black? That's what I had for my producers as well. Did he know I was black? So maybe he did his homework, maybe he didn't. But what do your friends and family say when they see pictures of you with these guys? And as I understand, you develop relationships with them. They even give you souvenirs, and you have some.
Well, yeah, I have some robes and hoods, you know, that have been given to me by Klan leaders and Klan members who have left the organization. And but let me point out something, that Mark is saying that I'm saying. You know, we keep using the term the Klan, and today there is no such thing any longer as the Ku Klux Klan. There are many Ku Klux Klan groups that all wear the same colors on their robes, use the same titles and ranks and passwords and secret handshakes, etc. Yeah. But these are all autonomous groups, you know, using the name Ku Klux Klan, and in fact, they're often rivals with each other.
They're splinter hate groups. So,
exactly.
but listen, why do they give you these souvenirs and you have them? Let's see.
Because they no longer have use for them. This is the robe of a former Grand Dragon for the state of Maryland. You know, green is the color of the Grand Dragon level. And this guy, he went to prison for conspiring to bomb a synagogue.
Quickly, Daryl, I don't have a lot of time.
In Baltimore.
Yeah.
And then later went to prison for conspiring to kill two black men with a shotgun. His day job was a Baltimore City police officer as the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan.
Do you fear for your safety when you meet with these people?
No, not really.
Why not?
Because, you know, I go in there with a certain degree of knowledge. When you know as much about the Klan, if not more, than they know about themselves, there is some degree of respect that they have to give you.
All right, that's going to have to be the last word. Thank you very much, Mark Pudak and Daryl Davis. And we come right back remembering Mario Cuomo.